Hi children, welcome to Equid Learning. So this is the 2021 O-level paper discussion. Um, if you haven't watched my previous videos, there are separate playlists from grade 6 onwards, and for the O-level paper discussions, there is a separate playlist. So this is the second part of 2021 O-level paper discussion. The first part where we'll be discussing about first 20 MCQs, and in this one, I am planning to talk about the MCQs from 21 to 40. Right? Okay, so let's start. Which of the following statements are correct, right? So these things are very important. HTML tags determine how the web pages are displayed in the web browser. Yes, right? And a URL uniquely identifies a web page on www. Yes. And hyperlinks allow to link web pages on World Wide Web. So that is how the web pages are connected. Yes. So all three are true. So for this MCQ, all ABC are correct. What is the correct HTML statement for creating a hyperlink to the official web portal of the government in Sri Lanka? So this is href, right? So anchor tags. So if you know the syntax, this is very straightforward. This is the correct answer. So for example, you have to have the anchor tag, closing tag, and href is giving which URL you want to navigate to. And this one is the text which is visible as a link, hyperlink. So in this one, it's wrong. You cannot give the href like this, and here it's not source. Source is for the image and not the URL also. So all these three are wrong. It should be href like this, the attribute. Okay. Yeah, 23rd one. They have given you a HTML statement, right? And asking what is the correct table to be created. Now, if you carefully look into this, there's a table, right, with a border 2, right? So if you have borderless one, you can just ignore, but all answers are having a border. And then you have actually 4 rows. Can you see TR, 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 TR like that? 4 rows are there, right? So company name and contact number, company name, contact number, company name, contact number. So all these two are wrong because it has more headers. So first two should be the answers. And this is the headed row. And then we have 3 rows, right? And there's a row span, right? Can you see the row span? So basically there should be 3 rows like this, but for the ABC Limited, right, it has a width of 2 rows. That's the meaning of row span, right? So row span, this is the most important thing. So as we had only these 2 answers left, and this one fulfills it because XYZ sons, it has no any row span to show like this. So the answer should be the first one, right? And the 24th one, which is the correct example for a IP address. So let me show you what is an IP address first of all, right? So in the internet, right, there are so many resources, so many computers, mobile devices, and all. So to identify each of these devices, we should have some unique identifier. So that is what IP address is. So in IP addresses, we have 4 values, where the value range will be 0 to 255, and it should be separated with a decimal point like this. So you have 4 numbers, 4 values, where each value should be less than uh, less or equal to 255, right? So this is called dotted decimal notation, right? Can you see the format? And usually these IP addresses are provided by internet service providers. That means like Mobitel, Hutch, Airtel, like institutions in Sri Lanka. And ISP is the company which provides you internet facilities, right? Okay. So according to that, right, which is the correct format. Now, can you see the third and fourth? Definitely wrong because they have, in this one, it has 5 uh, now values, and here 256 cannot come like this. Okay. And in this one, it's only having 3 values. So definitely the answer should be this one, where there will be 4 values and each value should be less than 256. Maximum value you can go for is 255. Right? Okay, 25th one. Which of the following is the commonly used folder that stores deleted messages in an email? So it's very straightforward, very easy one. It's the trash. But let me quickly revise you about these folders in an email service, right? So usually in inbox, we will store all the emails what we received, right? So inbox actually you can based on the rules you can categorize even like so if you get some mails from some party, there's a separate folder in like that also you can categorize, right? So draft means you have like started composing the email but still haven't completed, still haven't sent. Like what you are like in progress emails will be in draft. And then we have sent, right? If you sent a mail, that will be stored under this folder. And based on the email client, it will have trash or deleted folder. So it will store the emails which were like deleted, right? And the last one is spam or junk mails. So usually unwanted mails will be going there, right? Sometimes they're like without disturbing the inbox, it will be go to the spam. Like if you get a lot of promotions and all, it will usually go for this fold. And you also can set filters where if you don't want some email from this particular person to the inbox, you can directly redirect it to a junk folder, right? So sometimes some organization send you an email and you check the inbox, you won't see it. So definitely you have to go back and check your spam or junk folder. Sometimes those emails will be stored. They are like kind of a mistakenly, right? Okay. Then they have given you a URL and they're asking what these things are. So let me quickly revise the format of a URL as well. So what is a URL? Right? First of all, you should know that, right? So usually in the internet, we have so many resources available, right? So many websites. So the system should uniquely identify these resources, right? So that is why we have something called URL, a Uniform Resource Locator, right? So in here, if you see the format, right? So first one is HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol. So in the internet, to transmit information, we should have to follow some protocols, right? Protocols means set of rules, right? So that is what HTTP means. Now, if you are accessing secure websites like some payment gateway related websites, you will have HTTPS. And it's more secure version of HTTP. So anyway, this is the protocol, right? Then you have a www World Wide Web, right? So that's the main service provided in the internet. So here you have that. Then we have the domain name, right? Like facebook.com, something like that. We have domain name. And this one is the final resource. So it's a PDF file, ict.pdf. So when you open this up, it will be a PDF file open. And this is the path where this particular PDF file or the resource file is located, right? So that is how a URL will have. So it will have protocol, then it will have World Wide Web, then we have the domain name, and then we have the, sometimes these things will not be there, the URL, but basically the path to the resource and finally the resource. Okay. So here, based on that knowledge, you should definitely know A should be the protocol, right? So therefore, these first two answers are wrong. And then B should be the domain name, right? So remember this lk.lk.com. Those are called top level domain, right? So based on that, the answer should be the third one, right? This is the protocol, this is the domain name, and .lk, that part is called top level domain. 27th one. right? Which of the following is the combination correctly shows an internet service and its corresponding protocol? Okay, so there is another small theory part for this as well. So as I earlier told, there are protocols in internet because in the internet there is no particular owner for that, right? So we have to control some system because without an owner there will be a lot of issues. So there should be some rules and regulations. So that is actually protocol means, right? So a protocol uh, is actually set of rules or set of laws operated in computer networks. So there are some protocols like HTTP, TCP/IP, FTP, SMTP, ICMP. So these protocols are for specific usages, specific services. For example, HTTP is for HTML document exchange. TCP/IP is for basically to handle these IP addresses, what we call. FTP is for file transfers, right? SMTP is for email related things. ICMP is for error correction related things. So basically have some idea what is this protocol and what is the service of it. You don't need a lot of knowledge about it. So here it's very straightforward if you know that because they're asking the service, see the order, that is also very important. Service and the protocol. So if you mix that in an answer, that's wrong. Okay. So email, SMTP, yes, that's the correct one, right? Because FTP is related to the file transfers and SMTP is for the email related things. So definitely this is the correct answer. Others are not matching. So these MCQs won't take you 1 second even, right? If you know the theory, right? Very easy stuff. 28th one, right? So this is about GIMP image manipulation software, and they have given you an icon and asking what is actually it's doing. It's actually doing the cloning thing, right? So sometimes for some students this may be a bit hard because they haven't studied or remember this thing. But remember these things are there in your textbook. So in your textbook, they have clearly mentioned all these tools like this is the eraser, this is the airbrush, this is the ink. So this is the cloning thing, right? You copy from one place to another, right? So like that, please go through these tools, try practical sessions for these things, then you will remember, right? You don't have to study it like memorize these things. Next one, 29th one. Consider the following statement with blanks, right? You have two blanks A, B. The primary colors are, so what are the primary colors? This is a basic knowledge you should know, red, green, blue. So red, green, blue. We have only two answers because other one has yellow in it. So definitely either one or two. Um, are used to create images on computer screens with each color having color variations if represented with 8 bits. So if it is 8 bits, you have to go with 2 to the power 8. That means 256. So that's the correct answer for here. If it's 4 bits, 2 to the power 4, something like that. 30th one. Spreads by inserting copies of itself into executable files in a computer. So that is a computer worm, right? Definitely. So, but let me show you some theory part there. So this is about harmful software, malware we call, right? So there are so many harmful softwares like computer virus, first of all. So computer virus actually, it's a computer program and spreads rapidly within the computer. And usually it can enter to a computer by the network or the USB flash drives like memory chips, CDs, emails, right? So they enter to the system as executable files and they just spread. So computer worm also very similar to the virus, but computer worms have the capability to act and spread along, right? With something like email attachments or false websites, something like that, they can just spread by themselves. Then we have spyware, right? The name itself tells spying, right? So have you heard about Trojan Horse, right? So actually this is based on some concept of Greek stories. So actually, this Greek Trojan horse, what happened was it was like constructed by wood, and it was gifted to a enemy country, right? So that country didn't know that it is having some people also in that horse, so they just thought it's a gift, so they took it. And what happened was in the night, these soldiers came out and destroyed the enemy country. So that's the story behind this. So the Trojan horse, we use that word where this software seems to be very harmless, right? And it enters to the system without any notice. But what happens is then it will do a lot of uncomfortable things like opening unnecessary windows, produce different desktops, delete things, steal things, send your information to spyware, I mean sending your information to a third party without your knowledge. So these things, they don't spread themselves, but they steal the information or they do some harmful things to the computer. Adware. Usually, you may have seen when you watch some videos or when you're playing games like that, it is displaying a lot of ads, unnecessary notices. So these are not like very harmful, but it always distract the user by showing these things and clicking them and clicking and going to those things and all. It will create some more issues sometimes. Okay, and we have bots. Actually, bots word came from robots. So bots are actually somewhat harmful. They communicate with their other networks and collect information, sensitive information, and send it to the other bots. So that's how it happens. And we have hijacker, right? So hijacker means like the English word itself has the meaning. So it has the capability to misredirect the user to a different website, right? So it will um, it's like adware kind of. So it take you to something else, some website which is not intended to go. Phishing. So phishing is usually happening with emails. So what happens is now think you get an email like it's from the bank, your bank. So it is asking, okay, your bank account has some issues. So please provide your PIN number or provide your credit card numbers, something like that, and they will give you a link. So when you click the link, it will redirect to a website which looks like your bank, but there maybe definitely it's not, right? So when you enter that sensitive information, what happens is people will steal this sensitive information. So you have to be careful, especially when you get an email. Always check whether the spellings are correct, whether that is the specific logo of your bank, right? Those like have an initial filter by yourself always, and don't give those sensitive information here in the email itself. The best thing you should do is you have to call the bank and talk with them and do the communication using a different communication mode, right? Rather than clicking links and going and providing your sensitive information. And when even it's not good to click the link itself because you have to firstly detect, okay, what is happening here. Because in our offices, sometimes they do phishing like trial things so that employees will practice their thing. So sometimes we get an email, maybe it looks like the HR has sent it. So if you don't worry about the email address and all these things, you will just click. So then you will be like captured as, okay, this person got fished, right? So then they will provide you to do some trainings and all. So that's why at the initial glance itself, you should identify when you see an email, okay, this seems phishing, right? So that's a talent or that's a skill you should have, right? Spam. Spam is unauthorized email. I already discussed junk mail. So basically promotion, advertisements, and all these things will be spammed, right? So it's also kind of a malware-like thing because some people unwantedly send uh, because it's also kind of a malware. 31. So what are the problems like ICT can create? Yes, e-waste, security threats, health hazards. So all three are correct. So the answer would be the fourth one. Which of the following statements are true with regard to pilot deployment of a new system? So hope you remember about the deployments. Let me quickly revise it before going for the question. So usually when you develop an application, deployment, that means you install and you use it, right? Happens in this particular stage. So basically you can do the deployment in four ways. Like first thing is direct deployment. That means now you have an existing system and you have a new system. So what will happen is the existing system will be totally stopped, totally terminated, and then you go and install your new system, right? So if the new system is successful, yeah, then you can carry on, right? But there are good things, bad things in all these deployment mechanisms. So if I tell a good thing, right, it's very cost efficient because you don't maintain two systems parallelly. You shut down your existing system, you abandon or you terminate it, and you just have the new system to be followed. So that's one of the uh, benefits. So what are the problems in it? Right? If the new system fails or it has bugs, it has issues, then it will be a great problem because you have already stopped your existing system. Right? So you cannot go back to that. Right? So that is the problem. Parallel deployment means the existing system and the new system will be both functioning together, which is very costly maybe, but when we prove, okay, the new system seems okay, then only you are going to terminate the older system. So there are main problem is it's costly, time taken, and sometimes some users will never try the new one. They will just use to the old one or the existing one. They will just continue with it. So that's also another problem. But benefit is like you can try the new system and see the issues, fix them until that there is a working existing system. So that's the thing. Okay. Next one, pilot deployment. That's what it's mentioned in the question. The pilot one, what happened is now think you develop a system for the whole country, but rather than installing it for the whole country, you go for a specific selected district or specific selected uh, village or town or something like that. Now, for example, think you introduce something for Pizza Hut, right? So Pizza Hut is like whole country having uh, shops, outlets. But you don't go and install the new software in all outlets, but you select some specific outlets in Colombo area and then you install it, you work with it, you identify issues, bugs, and fix them. And if the system is very perfect, then only you are going to install it in all the outlets. So that is why what pilot deployment is, right? Phase deployment means now you have a system, huge system, but you don't want to fully install the full thing. What you do is step by step, you install. Now, this is different from pilot, right? In here, what happens is, for example, if it's a library system, you first install the searching part, then go for the lending part, something like that. Or in your book, they have told, okay, for first dictionaries, then the other books, something novels, then like that you can go. So, like the whole system is divided into stages, and each stage will be installed separately, tested, and then moved. Okay, so that is a phased deployment. Two, it's about pilot deployment, right? The existing system is replaced by the new system as soon as the development is completed. No, that's direct. Introduce the newly developed system to a selected set of users before making it available to all. Okay, that is correct. So this one is correct. The new system is deployed in stages, and the success of each stage leads to the next thing. No, that is phased deployment. So this is the correct answer. Right? Which of the following control structures can be used in an algorithm? Sequence, repetition, selection. All three are correct, right? So these are very easy MCQs, right? Even grade 6 student can do, right? So control structures, hope you remember, we have three things. In sequence, each step is followed sequentially, one after the other, right? Repetition means maybe one instruction or set of instructions is repeated again and again based on some condition. Right? Selection means there are two paths to be go. Like if the condition is true, it will happen in some sequence. If the condition is false, it will follow another uh, steps. So that is what selection is. Okay, 34. So what will be displayed as output of the given flow chart? Now, this is a flow chart. You have start, you have A and B. So these are like variables. And the initial values are 1, right? So then B value is changed, like 1 into 1, it will become 1. Then there's a condition to be checked. So it check whether A is greater than 2. Now A is 1 because A didn't change. So A is not greater than 2. So it goes here. Then 1 plus 2. A becomes 3, right? And then B becomes 3 into 1. That means B3, A also 3. So here again check, okay, is A is greater than 2? Yes, 3 is greater than 2. Yes, then you output B. So B is actually 3, right? So this is the answer. So these things, if you cannot do like what I have done, you can go with a chart like this, some chart like this. So where you have the A value and how it changed, right? So you can then new values and then you have the output. So you can try this as well. You can try this as well, like a graph thing. So you have to always write the values. A is this, B, no need to draw the table, but in your paper itself, write with a pencil, write what's A, what is B. Okay, it's changed. Now A is not 1, it became 3, like that. Do the workings there and do. Right? Don't do any mistakes. Here itself, write B is 1. Then A become 3. Then again, this one become 3. So write the workings there and do. Then you won't do any. So 35. If the labels yes and no are interchanged, the given flowchart, what will be displayed? That means this become no, this become yes. So we'll see. So A is 1, B is 1, B become 1 into 1, right? A is greater than 2, no. Now it's here, no. That's what they are telling in the question. So no, then you output B. So B is how much? B didn't uh, change actually. B was 1 itself. So for the 35 also, the answer is 1. Very easy questions. How many times will the statement count minus 3 execute in the following code segment? So your count variable value is 12 and you have a while loop. So while loop we use for the repetitions, right? So count is greater than 3. Yes, 12 is greater than 3. So this is true. You come here. So you execute count minus count one time now. First one. So now 12 minus 3, 12 minus 3, it becomes 9. So let me put a small dot for the first iteration. Then it goes back and check. Now it's 9. 9 is greater than 3 years. You come here again. So you have another dot here. So that means 9 minus 3, it is 6. Again, you come here. 6 is greater than 3 years. You do the execution again. 6 minus 3, you come here. Okay, 3 is not greater than 3, but 3 is equal to 3. So you come here, count minus 3, you do it again. So that means 3 minus 3 is 0. Then you come here, 0 is not greater than or less than 3. So you come out of the loop, right? So that means this particular line was executed 4 times. Very easy. Okay. Consider the following. So this is a books array, right? Hope you remember about arrays. Let me quickly recap some things about the array. So arrays is very essential because we cannot have a lot of variables for lot of values, right? So it's not going to work, right? So we can keep lot of values, a collection of values with single variable. That's why we have arrays. So that's the main important of it, because you can save data items of same type in memory using a single variable. So that is why arrays are very important, right? So arrays will have a single variable name. So you can access all these values using that array notations. So in an array, this is the structure you have to go with: var, and then you have the name of the array. Then this array keyword should be there, right? And then you have to tell, okay, what is the first index, what is the last index, right? Because you have to tell the range, and then you have of keyword, and then you have to tell what is the data type, right? These are integers. See the marks, var marks. So y cannot be changed. Y is the like keyword. Then array of this much of integer. So this is an integer array of 0 to 9 indexes are there. So remember, when these indexing happens, the first element is denoted with 0. And 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this one is the 8th position. So array length is 9, but you have indexes from 0 to 9. So that's some mistake some students will be doing. So elements of an array is positioned next to each other, right? So M is the array name. The 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, those are the index, right? So yes, we'll go for the question and see. Which of the following correctly defines books array in Pascal programming? So if we carefully see, right, what is the correct answer? It's the third one, because this one doesn't have the data type, no data type. Here it's the range, they have defined it in a wrong way. So this is the correct way to define the array. And which is having most expensive book? Most expensive book is this. 0, you have to start with 0. Don't tell 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that's wrong. 0, 1, 2, 3. So this is the answer. Okay, then comes a logic gate, right? So very easy. This is an AND gate, right? So in the AND gate, if the B is 1, right? If the B is 1, what will be the output? So it depends on A. So remember, and in the AND gate, both inputs should be 1. Then only output will become 1, right? So here B is already 1. So if A is 1, output also 1. If A is 0, output also 0, because it depends on the input. If it's OR gate, no worries. So if it's OR gate, if B is 1, always Q is 1. Because in OR gate, what happens is either one of the inputs are true, then the output is true. But here it's different. This is AND gate. So both inputs should be considered. And here the answer should be first one, because it's the A. Because B is already 1. If A is 1, Q is also A. That means 1. If A is 0, Q is also 0. So that is the meaning of this question. 40th one, they have given you the truth table, and in the truth table, we can see both inputs 0, it has become 1, right? 1 input becoming 1 also, it's happening 1. But if all inputs are true, it's 0. So this one, by the look of feel, just I can pick this one, but let's see whether you can understand. AND gate. In the AND gate, what happens if both inputs are 1, only your output is 1. So that is wrong here. No, but actually it's the reverse of it. Can you see? It's the reverse of it. So that means that is why we can go for NAND. In the OR gate, what happens? In the OR gate, if either one of the inputs are 1, output is 1. That means this, you should have 1, but it's not the case. No means it should be the reverse of it. That means this should be 1, all other things should be 0. Right? So that's a no gate, reverse of OR gate. Okay. Yeah, hopefully that MCQ is done. Comparatively, this is very easy comparative to other MCQs. So yeah, so this is the second video of 2021 all-well paper discussion. There will be more videos for the second paper discussion. So if you have not still subscribed my channel, please do subscribe. And if you want to comment, ask anything, give feedback, please do so, and share these videos with your friends as well. Yeah, thank you very much.